Hey, what's up everybody? It's Lids, and we're back for some more PYRE Community RITE Night, which means of course some good old-fashioned multiplayer PYRE, featuring first and foremost none other than the members of the RITE Club Discord server, the place for all things multiplayer PYRE. Oh, and admittedly, perhaps I could have come prepared with the link in advance. One moment. Please hold. And if you're interested in getting more involved in multiplayer PYRE, then look no further, because you can join said Discord group by clicking on that link right there. But those of you in chat, you are not off the hook. No, because you see, you can request things like selecting players' exiles, masteries, songs, arenas, even Titan Stars or archetypes are fair game. So, without further ado, let's hop into versus mode here. I'll set ourselves back to our defaults. That looks good. And let me know if there is anyone who would like to get us started today. No, I did not set us up with the Infinicur setup at the beginning of the stream. I felt like maybe, well, we did that last week, and although it was fun for a little while, it was kind of interesting and obviously gives you a little bit more to look at while we're on that starting soon setup. I felt like maybe it would wear thin if I did it every week, so I don't know, maybe it's still better than doing a little slideshow, but we'll see. But anyways, let me know if there's anyone who would like to get in here. We do not have any requests from chat at the moment, but of course, that is subject to change. So, and it, as always, may be easiest to sort that stuff out once we establish who we have in for our first few matches here. And, I mean, this is basically becoming a thing every week, but I did check her Steam updates, did have some today, so if you have not yet checked for any Steam updates on your end, you may need to do so before we can get you in, so just forewarning. Of course, we never really know in advance if those Steam updates are relevant to remote play or not, but just to play it safe. But how's everybody doing? Spheris? Macaws? Zombie, right? If I remember correctly, you're still getting used to people's usernames on different platforms, and perhaps we're more accustomed to seeing them on Discord, but now here on YouTube, I'm pretty sure I got the right people there. Ooh, feeling a little sick? Well, rest up. Hope you feel better soon. Drink lots of water, get some sleep, all that stuff. I'm doing alright. But apparently the same cannot be said for Zombie. But yeah, Macaw, Spheris, or anyone else, if you'd like to get in on the action here, we're still looking for a couple of people to get us started today. So both spots are there for the taking. Macaws is in, very nice. Macaws, as I was just saying, just might be worth taking a quick check to see if you have any Steam updates. Oh, also before I forget, while you're doing that, I'm gonna hop into Discord because I've not yet done that. There we go. Okay. Just did. Perfect. Let me send you an invite. In that case, should be on the way. And do we have anyone else who'd like to play at the beginning here, facing off against the Macassinator? I mean, as always, I could fill in for a little bit if we're waiting for another person, but I do like to give preference to those in chat who would like to play. I'll give you guys a minute or two.
Seems like RITE Nights are having a bit of a slow start here at the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, let's see. Do we have... Like, I know... Is there either last week or the week before, we might have had some people who were doing some games beforehand, and so there might have been some overlap, and only once they were done were they then switching gears over to RITE Night and hopping in there. So I don't know that that's happening today, but it happens from time to time, of course. Oh, okay. You see, the first message had me concerned there, Lilac. The second message, I think clears it up. Just to clarify, you are okay. Is that correct? Type 2 if you need to be rescued. Okay, Lilac is alright. Don't worry about it. Blink your eyes. 1 for yes, 2 for no. Alright, well, we are going to... Was that supposed to be burger? Okay. Alright, well, it looks like iRotor is here, and he's able to hop in. Alright, why don't I... we have a spot, iRotor, so yeah, if you're available right now, I can send you an invite. Let me see... He is on the Steams. I'll send him an invite. We have a request for the Pit of Malith to get things started, it would seem. Alright. Now if you guys could just confirm, now that we have you both in, who's player 1, who's player 2. I'll set you guys up on my end. Here we go.
Like, I am numero uno.
Bien. Right. Get you guys your sigils. Song request for Snake Soul. I mean, we're getting a pretty strong withdrawn theme here. Off to a good start for the withdrawn player, I suppose. There we go. Alright.
At this point, somebody just request McHoss can't win.
Well, someone was also saying Orlek is forbidden here, who technically is the team captain of Makos's triumvirate. So in a way, yes.
Pit is all, but Pit is my least favorite arena, or one of my least favorites. So.
Pit is your least favorite arena, I wrote?
It's too narrow. I like my space.
The withdrawn stand ready.
Yeah, it's technically Bertrude's theme, not Udmilda's, but nonetheless, the crone aspects of this match are quite strong. That'll be a speedy Ignarius in the first spot for Makos. No requests affecting their team composition here, outside of that, what I guess was a request banning Oralek. Thorned Knot Tizo for iRotor in the first spot. Quick Throwing Manly, that is Makos's second choice. Goes for the quick banishing throws on Vizpaleth in the second position. I feel like this has been a recent topic of conversation. People knocking the curs a bit for their perceived lack of viability relative to other classes. Some people saying, you know, maybe not that much behind the other classes, but yet, despite those recent conversations, it does feel as though last week we saw quite a few curs. And Macaws, of course, breaking one out here, and now in the last spot for iRotor, it will be another imp. And here we go for our first match of the day, and did see iRotor take a talisman that allows him to get absolutely insane range on that imp implosion. And given what he was saying before about how this is a rather small arena, it does make it very hard for Macaws to find a way through safely. Perhaps that means more banishments, although on this occasion it's iRotor who was defenseless, so it's Macaws with that cur for an uncontested 15 damage throw. Manly, down he goes. Now it's Macaws who's defenseless, although with the numbing gust it does slow down iRotor significantly. Does have a portal, although it doesn't take him too far. Does give him the infinite stamina though, so Macaws does need to be wary of that. Of course, not a lot iRotor can do with that if he is unable to sprint, jump, throw, or use any other special abilities when everyone on Macaws' side is down. No longer the case at the moment though. Now it is once again, although iRotor may just be close enough. Squeeze in there. Waits though for Barker to return, valuing the ability to throw, although ultimately does plunge instead, and does seem as though maybe the play there was to settle for the Vispaleth plunge for 30 rather than the 25 damage imp plunge, unless, of course, iRotor was thinking that having Vispaleth in this round was paramount to his success. But down she goes. She's out of position here, so opportunity for Macaws to throw that one in for 25 from his sap. And if iRotor can get good positioning on that huge imploding imp, then he can practically cover the entire arena. Not quite, of course, but almost feels like it. Just very hard for Macaws to avoid that kind of incredible banishing ability. Although, of course, iRotor still able to pack a punch as well. Plunge is there for 25. It does now mean he does not have Messenger Imp in this round. Macaws was looking for a way through with Barker, but instead got trapped and is currently defenseless, but we are seeing that Numbing Gust appears to be providing some pretty good value there. And despite that, it looked like iRotor might have had an opportunity, but Barker sacrificed himself for the team, and now it's iRotor who can't stop Macaws from throwing that one in for 30. Ooh, except look at that. iRotor finds a way through there for a quick 25 damage imp plunge. Although technically speaking, at this stage it is possible for Macaws to finish it with one score. It would need to be a maximum damage Ignarius score. Nothing else would quite do the trick. iRotor does need to be wary of that, but of course iRotor in a strong position here with the infinite stamina on Vispaleth, in possession of the orb. The Titan Tooth. Bit of a thorn in iRotor's side there. iRotor through the portal, but oh, Macaws has it well covered there. Thought about moving in with the higher damage exile instead, opts to play it safe. Goes in with what was built-in prayer beads, I believe, on Barker there, so he's still in for this round. Wasn't enough damage to finish the job, of course, but it does mean just about anything would do for Macaws at this stage. Which is not something we could have said before, although Macaws now defenseless. Portal is fairly well positioned for iRotor, but not enough in and of itself to set up the score. Macaws may very well get someone back in time here to once again just sacrifice them. That's all he needed to get the orb back and prevent iRotor from scoring. May not be pretty, but it does the trick. It's happened a couple of times already. Oh, and that huge implosion was not enough to stop Macaws, and with that score, he is the winner. GG indeed.
I don't like that stage.
iRotor, you're not supposed to say that about your home arena.
I don't care. It's not a good
iRotor, the withdrawn fans. are not vibing with this right now.
Until the next rite.
Iroder says like the most like nonchalant things, but with the surgical precision like right to my funny bones sometimes. Just that I don't care. I'm like, that's the funniest I don't care I've ever heard.
All right. Well, let us know if there's anything we'd like to see for the next one. That was a good start. And that was a bit of a snake theme, but otherwise we saw the players taking whatever they wanted in that match outside of what may have technically been an Orlek ban, although I don't know that either player was planning on doing that. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, Sparrows sent that message saying, who likes the withdrawn anyway? Maybe it's just what iRotor was just saying a minute ago, but I really thought that was iRotor who made that statement as a withdrawn player. I was like, wow, those are harsh words.
The correct plan, I'd say, would have been to take something with Prayer Bead. Like, the demon with Prayer Bead would have been better with the demon with Star Splinter, but I wanted to go exploding.
Maybe the withdrawn being green is something. We can give them that. Well, as I said, let us know if there's anything we'd like for the next one. We have a song request for Rage of Demons. Okay. Anything else? Seeing nothing at the moment, why don't we get back into the action here? Oh, hold on. We can still do that. There's a map request. We're going from one extreme to the other. It was one of the smallest arenas, maybe not quite the smallest, but now we're going to the largest arena, the Fall of Solium. So I wrote her, they heard you saying, previous arena too small. Ask and you shall receive.
That's better. Fall of Solium's a bit too large, I think.
I was gonna say, I wrote it, you can't have it both ways. You can't say one arena is too small and then get the biggest one and complain.
Can you take keyboard away from me?
Oh, yeah, sorry. 1 second. Let's see, what is the hotkey for this? Do I remember? There we go. Let's get that. There we go. Yeah, no, we can't have them change their triumvirates.
Maps like that exist. You know that, right?
What's that?
Rich exists. It's there. You know that, right? It's a thing.
It's a Speedy Bertrude in the first spot for McComas.
Exile.
Quick throwing Zoxiana in the first spot for iRotor. Exploding Lendl. We have seen also an increasingly large number of exploding nomads as of late, and it feels like it's almost always Lendl, which I feel like is a bit of a statement from the players. Like, if I'm gonna have an exploding nomad, well, it has to be Lendl, right?
Really is suddenly vengeful.
That's true. Thematically, it does fit. And banishing throws on the stowaway, we saw it was Almer in the second spot for iRotor, now with his final pick. Looks like it'll be a speedy Bizpaleth. Here's iRotor with a quick throw from his harp. Gets in here for 20 damage. Aggressive plays from Zoxiana, gets a banishment, but then also gets banished herself, but then it's the follow-up attempt from Ulmer. He's the one who plunges in for 20 here. Some more from Zoxiana for iRotor. Another 20 damage. Now, McCaw's first to the orb, and he goes speeding ahead, in part because I think he got Harp pushed in a potentially beneficial way. But it sets up a 26 damage throw for McCaw's Bertrude. And here are the banishing throws, followed by a 20 damage plunge from McCaw's Stowaway. Soxiana back at it here, right up next to the pyre. Oh, that was a full 20 damage. It didn't look like it. That is the quick throw for you. It does mean one score is potentially all that iRotor needs here. But McCaw's in possession, getting his team back to full strength, but Lendl goes down. Brought back quickly though, and here he is, a 30 damage plunge from his crone, but with no prayer beads, it means no Bertrude anymore in this round, and iRotor has found a gap in the defense, and with that plunge, takes the win.
The rite conducted with aplomb. The ceremony is complete.
Well played, you two.
I got pooped on.
Alright, let's head on back.
Officially renaming Lando to Land now.
I was just thinking. It's almost a palindrome, but not quite. Maybe we can change that.
Already if Snadra, we are not averse to
Right? I mean, if we can do Snadra.
in odd places.
Alright, well let us know if there's anything we'd like for the next one. Perhaps some Lendl haters in chat. That would suggest that there aren't always Lendl haters in chat, which I'm afraid may be the case. He's not exactly very high on the list of people's favorite characters, generally
I
speaking.
think Lando is somewhat relatable because he's the kind of person you can absolutely meet in real life who are so embittered about stuff that it warps their entire personality.
Yeah, that's true. He's pretty realistic from that standpoint. Anything request-wise that we're looking for here, or do we just want the players to go with whatever they'd like? Spherus is realistic too. I don't know. Have we ever seen Spherus and Lendl in the same room before? I'm just saying. Two worms we have for both players. Both players go in double worm. That's the idea. Yes, okay. I don't think we've seen much worm action yet today.
I mean, Stunning Claim is good with that, but I fear if I take Stunning Claim, I accidentally do the bug.
The true Nightwing
Also, this is thematically fitting.
shall confront the withdrawn. Welcome.
What was the request? We
Who
both
shall
have to take
conduct
2 worms?
the
Correct.
rite?
Yes.
Sir Gilman.
It's Aura's scale on Gilman, so the first worm for Macross. Yeah, we've been on theme for basically every match so far. We had Super Snake theme for the first one, then we went Demons on Fall of Solium, which is technically kind of the Temper's home arena for lack of having a home arena. So, kind of makes sense on that front as well, and then we have double worms on the boat. So we're kind of 3 for 3, in a way, or practically at least. Exploding Deluge, so I believe that's 2 worms now checked off. For Macaws, he's all set on that front. Likewise here for iRotor, after going Astral Eye on his second worm for extra damage at the cost of reduced hope. Now, of course, this final choice for both players is where they have the most flexibility. For Macaws, it's a Prayer Beads Pamitha. And for iRotor, it is an Infinite Stamina Tizo. So, iRotor gets a banishment there. Now, Lady River. Sneak around, but gets blocked there. Macaws recovers the orb. Loses 1 worm, but now moving in with the other. Oh, a little bit of worm boat magic, it seemed, which you'd tend not to see. Oddly enough, the boat, I would argue, is perhaps the worst arena for the worms, despite it thematically being what is supposed to be their home arena. But a rare exception on that occasion. Oh, everyone banished on Macaws' side after some aggressive moves there from iRotor. That sets up his worm that had the extra damage from the talisman, so it's 23 rather than the usual 15. Gilman, down he goes. Now the opposing Gilman, once again, a little bit of boat magic. It's a little bit of extra airtime for Macaws. Stunning claim for iRotor. It's a little preemptive, but he does still have just enough time to buy his imp, to be the only exile capable of moving there. For second there, it looked like he didn't quite give himself a long enough period to pull that off. Oh, look at this. Lightning fast counterattack from Macaws. Wins the orb back immediately, passes it the length of the arena, and throws it in for 15. Speaking of quick counterattacks, iRotor has one of his own here. 15 damage throw from another worm. That time, Macaws blocked.
Audacious, aren't we?
iRotor moving in with Lady River. Macaws, though, in position. Now progressing the orb forward with Gilman. The throw is just a little bit shy of the target there. Same could be said for iRotor's throw. It's back with Macaws now. With Gilman. Little mini Infiniworms. Of course, it's not triple worms, so it's not truly Infiniworms, but it's at least the concept behind it. Gilman. Down he goes. Gilman now for iRotor. Looked for the stunning claim. Has he already used it? It didn't seem as though anything happened there. Of course, it can only be used once per round.
My.
Or did he not take it on that worm and only on the other, perhaps?
In goes the
Well, either way, iRotor does find a way to throw this one in for 15 from one of his worms. No cost. Not enough time to get the throw off there. Now, iRotor, I was about to say, technically does have enough damage if he can score with his Astral Eye Worm, and that's exactly what he does, so that is enough for iRotor to be the winner. GG.
Right is ended.
Join the withdrawn. We have talismans of dubious origins.
But we don't like our home arena.
Right.
It's a package deal, you know.
Some good, some bad. They're looking for a new home. They heard the Isle of Kalamer is maybe there for the taking. Alright, well, let us know if there is anything we'd like to see for the next match. That one was double worms for both players. The boat was just a coincidence. But of course, if we don't have anything in mind... Oh, hold on. Ooh. Okay, so this would typically fall under the Titan Stars category as a more miscellaneous request. Because it affects the play style of both players, and therefore is a little bit difficult to execute, but let me just run it past the players. How do we feel about the feasibility, at least, of doing a match in which you are only able to score via throwing?
I mean, that's gonna like with these. It's always tough because I'm always like fighting against muscle memory.
Right, the instinct.
I don't love it, but if iRotor wants to do it, I can try.
I don't care either way.
Alright, why don't we give it a shot and, you know, try your best. Obviously, if you occasionally slip up and go for a plunge, then maybe we give your opponent a free plunge in response to balance things out, but just do our best to go with a throwing-oriented match. And then Zombie's following that up by saying both players use one sap, which, given how saps are much better at throwing than plunging, more often than not, at least, I imagine, players can find a way to make that work. Sphere says it's okay if you do plunge, just don't do it often. Try not to.
The true Nightwings shall now face the withdrawn. Welcome. Who shall conduct?
So we're trying
the right-
throws only. One sap per team. As I said, I feel like that's not really asking too much. They might have already been planning on doing something along those lines.
Bertrude.
Quick throwing Bertrude. That's the lead for iRotor. So of course the throwing oriented talismans, those will be in high demand here, but there's Web Lanthorn Messenger Imp. iRotor takes Banishing Throws on Ulmer. Exploding Bertrude for Makoss. So Makoss notably only has one throwing talisman. iRotor has at least two. I mean, obviously the Banishing Throws is not necessarily an offensive throwing talisman, but it is still throwing oriented in its own way. Then Web Lanthorn Imp for iRotor as well, so both players go in that route. Now let us see how we fare in this match in which players will at least try to go with only throws as their way of scoring.
Bye now, Bertie.
Oh, Makoss just barely avoided getting banished there by going through the portal, but iRotor does eventually get the job done. Oh, and I'm realizing the Stubborn Flame, or rather not the Stubborn Flame, but the Numbing Gust was devious.
Tis taken.
also loses everyone there, and this is what I mean. iRotor functionally cannot score until Macaws has someone back. That was a very clever play from Macaws with the setup. And he gets in range for a sap throw. Not quite the maximum damage, but 23 out of 25, courtesy of that quick throw. Oh, and iRotor breaks out the prone salute to turn all of Macaws' characters into defenseless howlers, which does more or less give him a free throwing opportunity. Macaws does have the portal, but it doesn't take him far. It seems as though he is going to patiently wait for his other exiles to return, only to then see them all get banished. Very dangerous portal location as well for iRotor, but that's the problem. He still can't do anything with that, at least until Macaws gets someone back, and at that point, Macaws is able to make the defensive play. That throw, oh, just off the mark for iRotor, but on the second attempt. And speaking of Stubborn Flame, Macaws did also take that. He's certainly making life difficult for iRotor here. Macaws looking to get into scoring range once again with his sap, and he does just that. This time it is the full 25. Big implosion. Crone versus Crone. Well, they cancel each other out, of course. That leaves Almer as the first character back. Tries to clear out some space, goes for the throw. But Macaws sacrifices one character, picks it up with Bertrude, but she goes down. Manley again, who has been the key offensive character thus far for Macaws, and that trend continues, but now Macaws is looking back to that one time where he didn't quite reach maximum damage on a sap throw, and that is the difference between being in range and being out of range, at least for his sap at the moment. Could still have enough damage if he is to throw it in for near max damage with Bertrude. Here she is. Look at that, gets rid of the orb temporarily to help banish one of the defenders. That throw is unblockable, although apparently it was going to be just a little bit shy of the mark. Macaws wins the orb back there. That was his last character after it got banished. Did give a brief window of opportunity for iRotor. Another one here. Again, even with those, still hard for iRotor to do anything with those opportunities. Same cannot be said here, though. iRotor's defenseless, and that is the character Macaws was looking for with that throw.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that request. That limits the option too much. There's so many scores you could get just by mixing it up.
Well, Macaws did have a very devious strategy with the setup, which I did not give him credit for. I did not realize at first. It wasn't until we started getting into the thick of the match that it became clear he had a particular plan in mind.
The next RITE.
Alright, well that was a scoring via throws only match that we just saw there. Let us know if there is anything we'd like to see for the next one. Otherwise, if not, then of course we can always leave it up to the players to go with whatever they'd like. Not seeing anything request-wise right now, which I think means we'll just get the next one started. Let the players go with whatever they'd like.
The true Night Wings
And it is the Isle of Kalamer.
shall take on the withdrawn.
No requests, but a little more chaos coming from the arena itself, of course. I just realized for the first time ever, it's raining in the Isle of Kalamer. And you can see that in the arena. I've never noticed this before.
Is it raining?
Only if you look, it's hard to see right now. I think it's easier to see from your screen. Don't pick a character just yet. Look in the middle of the arena, in the part where it's lighter. You can see the occasional little splash.
It's not very subtle.
It is subtle, but I think that's because that's the only
Look,
part that's
it's just
opened
right
up to the
above
elements.
end. Look.
Huh. How interesting.
I think that canonically makes sense, right? Because its island is out in the middle of the sea in this horrible weather area. And they even made a point of only making it rain in the part that is exposed to the elements. It's a clever little touch. Right, it's in a storm. And that's why it's so hard to get there. So it makes sense, I just never noticed. And it's subtle enough that it's kind of hard to see. The first thing I noticed was, that's strange, it's sparkling in that center area. That's the only area. Why, it looks kind of like rain. Oh wait, no, that is rain. No, it's an open stadium. There's no roof on the Isle of Kalamer. Or at least not in the middle, there isn't. Isle of Kalamer, another water arena, confirmed.
Demon.
Well, anyways, the players are good to go. There's a Kerr, a Harp, as you can see here, and a Demon on Macaus's side. Kerr, a Harp, and a Demon also on Iroder's side, so at least from a class standpoint, some strong similarities. It's identical. Of course, we'll have to see when it comes to the execution how that may differ from one player to the next, as it is Macaus getting us started with a 20 damage Harp Plunge, and with Prayer Beads, Pamitha has returned here for this round. Not quite enough on that Barker jump from Macaus. Here's Iroder, his throw intercepted. Quick counter from Macaus with the finger guns and all. It's Iggy plunging for 30. Harps block each other, although actually after that switch, Macaus still had his Harp. And now plunges with that Harp for 20, and she will remain, of course, with, as we were just saying, the Prayer Beads. Demon versus Demon. Harp versus Kerr. Oh, and then Macaus switches into Ignarius, although he did get banished there. And a Titan Tooth from Macaus, and then followed by the Harp push. Macaus just bullying Iroder's characters on that occasion. Iroder with a quick answer here, throwing it in for 20. Harps once again just crashing into each other in the middle, and perhaps same could be said of those demons as well. Iggy does get banished, so it's back with Iroder here, and he almost had enough on that triple Kerr hop, which just got blocked at the last second. Here's Pamitha for Macaus, plunging for another 20, and with that, that does mean that at least with a full or near full damage Ignarius score, that Macaus would have sufficient damage to finish it with one round, although anything else would just be a little bit short of the mark. Macaus momentarily defenseless though, and Orb back in Iroder's possession. But Zoxiana went down. Opportunity here for Macaus to regroup. Switches in Ignarius. Down he goes. Pamitha, she's blocked. No one to switch with, so she goes down. Ispaleth, banished. Kerr versus Kerr. A little opening there, but with the fell swoop, Iroder able to get the defensive play. Quick throw, but that's intercepted. It's back with Macaus. Iggy one side, Barker the other. Iggy knocks back the defender. Oh, that was a game-saving defensive play there, because That exile would have had enough damage for Macaws. This one, however, does not. So Rotor still holding on with 5. Now, of course, for Macaws, just about anything would do. And there it is.
The true Night Wings prevail.
GG.
'Twas as though the scribes
That doesn't fit into that
themselves
form.
stood by their side.
Well played, you
With
two.
that attitude, it does.
End this
No,
night's
no, with no
proceedings.
attitude it does.
Alright, well, let's head on back.
Until the stars align.
You need a quick follow-up, and you don't create enough chaos to abuse the card.
Well, let us know if there's anything we'd like to do for the next one. Otherwise, of course, we can always leave it up to the players to take whatever they want, which I believe was the case for that one there. They just so happened to pick all the same classes. Let's see, map request for the Ridge of Goal. And then, is that a request there, Spherus? Spicing it up a bit with the talisman? Potentially some Bottled Void action? Seems like that's what Spherus is saying. Bottled Void request if both players want to do it. Okay. You have the option to opt in or opt out. Do we want to do Bottled Void for both of you or Bottled Void for neither of you? How are we feeling?
I can play Bottled Void.
Sounds like it's supposed to be if
I
one
want to
does,
play
the other does
double
as well.
Bottled Void. That's just too messy. Like it's nice, like a nice change of pace if you have double Bottled Void on one team, but on both teams it just
Too much
evolves
chaos.
into chaos.
What weren't you just saying? You needed more chaos from your cur?
Technically, Spherus's request was Bottled Void request if both players want to do it. If I'm willing to play it, and iRotor is willing to play if only one person plays, we've technically fulfilled the request.
Well, does it technically mean that Macaws... We did not have both players agree, so it will not be double. But then Macaws is voluntarily choosing to do Bottled Void. I mean... Whatever
Both
works for you
players
guys.
agreed to Bottled Void. We agreed that I would take Bottled Void.
The true Night Wings.
The request wasn't for both of us to use Bottled Void. The request was just Bottled Void request if both players want to do it.
Welcome.
Right? I'm not crazy. Yeah, if both players want to do it.
I think you're good.
I was an English minor for a semester.
I was gonna say, it's... well articulated.
Or always does the Savage Bottled Void. I think that's objectively the better way to do it, but
I mean, you can do it a few ways, though.
Imp is just... I love Imp. Look at this. Look at this little man. He wears his little headband on top of his eyes like a little goober. Like, how can I not pick him?
Wait, what?
Look at him. He's got a little headband.
That's a headband?
But I always thought it was. Maybe it's his real face, but like...
I thought those were just his feathers, or, yeah, whatever you want to... Are they technically feathers? I don't know.
It's just a weird looking feather. I always like to think he'd like put a headband over his eyes, but like cut out the eye holes because he's just a little goober.
I never thought of it that way.
We do need Last Laugh for this to work. And Titan's Rage. You need Bottled Void.
Alright, so Macaws is doing it. Just that point right there makes me think of... there, of course, have been various points in time over the years where Supergiant have done Q&A for usually, probably, focusing on their most recent game. But it does make me wonder if we were specifically to have a Q&A with Gen Z or other members of the Supergiant art team, which questions would we have for them specifically that are visual art related? Like, hey, is that a headband that Messenger Imp is wearing over his eyes? Is that in fact a bird in Manly's head? Things of that sort. That's true, Tizo has the little band around one of his horns. Yeah, but actually look at Tizo. Like, Tizo's face, he has all the feathers around the perimeter, but in between his eyes, he doesn't really have... It changes color, and he doesn't really have the same floofiness, which is kind of similar to what we were just talking about for Messenger Imp.
Is this a meme? Star Splinter Nomad? I don't know if I've ever taken this combo. Let's try it.
Alright. We're getting experimental. Oh, hold on a second. What is Iroder up to? Meanwhile... It's Exploding Deluge in the last spot for Macaws, but that's 2 curs. Is it about to be triple? No, it's a Web Lanthorn Raji in the last spot before Iroder.
Now begin. Beware the adversary's aura.
Iroder. Raji waits for Dalbert's return. Here he is, triple hopping his way into the pyre for a 20 damage plunge.
That's it.
There are the explosions. Messenger Imp trying to bring back Lendl and does just that. There's a lot of banishments there. Oh, and looked like there was just enough time for Macaws to get the throw off there, but Iroder recovered in time to get the interception. Now moves his curs in for the attack. One on one side, one on the other.
Exciting.
Macaws, though, up to the challenge. I think was about to bring back Lendl, then figured, why not? I see an opening. I'll throw this one in for 15. Went not quite close enough with Messenger Imp, though does create a very dangerous portal. Macaws does. Except it just got reset right as he was about to go through it.
Lendl banished.
When Iroder first the orb and had just enough time and space to go straight in for a 20 damage curve plunge. Iroder, oh, there's the can singularity taking effect. In pretty dramatic fashion at that.
A rude predicament.
Everyone down on Iroder's side. That means time for the quick throwing Lendl to do his thing.
Oh. Oh.
Sees chance active on Deluge, but he'll go down before he has a chance to do anything with that bonus damage. By being Logan Cunningham.
Twas but a splash.
That was interesting.
Now go.
I don't even think I saw the throwing animation at all. It was so quick. After the hopscotch that happened just before it, that was quite the maneuver. Deluge brings back Messenger Imp, activating the can singularity in the process.
How comical.
Lendl, he goes down. Only to be brought back, and once again, the quick throwing talisman. It's seemingly providing Macaws some decent value here.
The orb
Only to quickly be answered by a 20 damage curve plunge for Iroder. Deluge. Oh, not quite enough on the throw.
Righteous fire!
Rotor makes it all the way in for 20 damage plunge.
Now end the ceremony.
Oh, and I was about to say one score, of course. Potentially all that Rotor needs here. And Singularity, though, potentially saving Makos. Rotor trying to hop around those casts and does just that, setting up the winning plunge. GG.
The scribes themselves surely have taken
That was
note.
chaotic enough. Imagine we had 2 of them.
The rite is done.
But more chaos is better, right?
Until it becomes somewhat random.
Until the stars align.
Alright, well let us know if there is anything we'd like to see for the next one. Did I just go back? There we go. I didn't see your message earlier, Sferis. Batman Imp? Is that because of Messenger Imp's mask that he may or may not be wearing that covers his eyes? Definitely didn't think of it that way before. Although I think some people have probably said that in a way the real world animal that most closely resemble imps are actually bats. So from that standpoint, it does kind of make some sense. We had our sort of bottled void request, maybe not quite a bottled void request. Either way, Makos ended up doing it. Rotor did not for that match. Let us know if there's anything we'd like for this one. Otherwise, if not, then of course, we could always just have the players take whatever they'd like. But seeing nothing here, I think we'll get the next one started. Sferis requests that you have fun.
That's a hard sell.
A true Nightwing
I was gonna say, then watch
versus
both of you take troll teams that make life miserable for your opponent.
welcome.
It is possible to probably
Who shall
ruin your opponent's experience a bit to prevent them from fulfilling that request, but I'd like to believe the players will not choose to go that route here.
I heard you loud and clear triple sabotage.
Well, it's Nutrition Stick on Manly or Makos.
exile?
Quick throwing Zoxiana in the first spot for Rotor. What type of tree is Manly? Well, I mean, he's a sap, so technically, does he qualify as a tree at all? Not sure we really know the answer to that question. Oh, also Sferis says that he requests that you don't take triple sap, but I think we're good. I think we're good on that front now, at this rate. Quick throwing Bertrude in the last spot for Makos. Homer, Zoxiana, and now the last selection for Rotor would be a speedy Bizpaleth. Not often you see a sap winning the initial orb race. Macaws did it there, however, probably not pleased to see what happened next, as all of his exiles got banished, and that gave Iroda the opportunity for an uncontested 20 damage harp throw. Macaws, though, looking for a quick answer as he goes nothing personnel kit, except what happened to the throw?
What?
What just happened?
Alright, I'm quitting PYRE forever now.
I would love to see a replay on that one. It looked like it just hit some inanimate object directly in front of the PYRE and bounced in some strange direction. But I didn't see anything that would have deflected the throw.
A true aimed thrust into the fire.
That's a 29 damage throw from Iroder. Here's Lendl for Macaws. He's down, and that means everyone is down overall on Macaws' side, at least until Manley makes his return, but he's harp pushed away. Somehow the little harp can push aside a tree, or what is practically a tree, as we were just saying. Saxiana's been hid in the gym, okay? As has Iroder's Demon, Bizpaleth, plunging there for 30. 20 damage throw, but of course that's not quite enough for Iroder, as Macaws still holding on with 1. I do think we saw Macaws take Rekindling on his sap, if I'm not mistaken. We may be about to find out. Yes, it is the full 50. Right? Actually, though, it was like Macaws' sap throw from a few rounds ago hit the pyre, except it registered as if it was his own pyre and did one of those inadvertent bounces. It was almost like that. Here is Iroder plunging for 20 with Ulmer. Does now mean that after having already seen the Rekindling for Macaws, 1 full damage Vizpaleth score would be enough for Iroder. Anything else would come up a little bit shy of the necessary 30 damage. Macaws trying to sneak and snake his way through. That's another one that I think he got banished before he initiated the throw, which is why that one did not hit the mark, but it looks close. It looks similar to what we saw with the sap in a way. Then 20 damage plunge after some hip-hopping around from Iroder's Ulmer. It's still not enough damage, though. 1 score, however, likely would be all he needs at this stage, and any exile would potentially have the means to do that. Everyone down, though, on Iroder's side, which means time for Macaws to throw this one in for 30. And then the Feral Curse from Macaws, so Iroder defenseless. Let's follow up 30 damage here with another drone throw. Macaws looking to go 3 for 3 in that metric, but Bertrude is banished. And Vizpaleth gets shoulder smashed. Everyone, though, goes down on Macaws' side, and with that score, Iroder is the winner.
I used to set up my sap that way back in the day.
Thus end this night's proceedings.
Well,
With
GG.
Rekindling nutrition stick.
Well played, you two.
Until the next.
Yeah, the only thing I can think of with that throw is I was locking on, but for some reason the targeting switched to the bird.
But it wasn't even like it just... It's like it curved. It's arced mid-throw,
Yeah,
it seemed like.
I have no idea. That was
So
wild.
honestly, I think
YouTube,
Zombie
we can
has a
easily
point.
look it up.
Sorry, what was that, Iroder?
We're on YouTube, we can easily look it up. Let
We
me
can,
find,
yeah. We can at least check the replays. See if there was some factor that we didn't realize was in play. Otherwise, if not, it's certainly a strange one. Well, let us know if there is anything else we'd like to see for the next match.
Which score was it again? When you went 30?
Don't remember exactly. Are you trying to check it right now?
Yes, I'm in the replay right now.
We'll have the liberation rite at the end of the day today. We'll likely still have a little ways to go. Let us know, though, I suppose, if there is anyone else who is interested in getting in on the action. Don't know if anyone else has expressed interest at this stage, and just to check in on you two, Macaws and iRotor, are you guys good to stick around, or do either of you need to head out soon?
I'm
good.
fine.
I'm good to play for a few more.
Okay. Lilac says still on the road, so it sounds like Lilac is not available at this stage. I know we have Spheris in chat, who I don't remember saying one way or another if he's interested in playing today. So I think, for now at least, it sounds like we're fine to proceed with these two. Let us know if there is anything we'd like for the next one. I don't think I've seen anything in that regard just yet. Huh? Oh. Did that get auto-corrected? Is that what just happened? I was very confused for a second there. That's what happened. Okay, Macaw's fun fact. Apparently, your name will occasionally get auto-corrected to Nachos.
I've been called worse.
I was gonna say, I mean, honestly, that's not bad. Of all the things you could be called, I might take that. McNachos. That's his secret alternate identity. Alright, well, not seeing any requests here, so why don't we get the next one started up?
The true Nightwings shall take on the withdrawn.
Alright, we're at the Glade
Welcome.
with
So-
no requests.
So one
Who shall conduct
scope where you
the
were
rite?
locked in, if you locked onto PYRE, and then maybe you had your finger a bit on the cursor and it drifted away.
Weird.
Ignatius.
So it's Ignarius in the first spot, or Macaws. Has the cur buff dropped yet? No, it hasn't, although, as I was saying before, we've seen our fair share of curs today. It's not as if players are avoiding them like the plague. And
Maybe these two things are related in a very specific way, I think.
Dalbert.
We're trying to find things to make code good, and so far we don't know that.
Tay.
okay, Lilac is also foreshadowing a request for the next one. Cur buff is to be better than your opponent? Question mark? Maybe.
Very sad for the true Nightwings.
Maybe it was just a skill issue all along. Oh, that was strange. A banishing throw that had long enough range that it missed the intended target. You don't see that too often. iRotor scored for 20 and now back in possession here with Vizpalet, knocking back the defender, scooping up the orb, and then getting scooted further toward the pyre, courtesy of the defender's harp push. So, a bit of a strange experience there for Vizpalet. She is now gone in this round after having plunged without prayer beads, and everyone is gone on iRotor's side.
Magnificent.
And Macaws was unable to sprint, jump, throw, or use any other special abilities, but he had a long enough amount of time there. He was able to plunge in nonetheless. with the stowaway. Speaking of plunging in, he does that with Pamitha on this occasion. She does have prayer beads, so she is back. Here's the stowaway. Vanishing throw gets rid of one defender. Make it a second now, but the sapling positioned just right to take the stowaway out there. Now here's our rotor. Loops around with a 20 damage Dalbert plunge. Rotor with Vizpaleth, blocked just before getting in on the jump. Now no one back defensively, so has time to throw it in for 30.
Now to the flame.
That was an elusive sap, although McCoss still able to get the orb back before Rotor was able to score, and in fact McCoss plunging in here with Pamitha for another 20. Stowaway. She's quick, teleporting to the orb and charging up a full 20 damage throw. Going to repeat that feat here. Banishes some defenders, banishes all the defenders in fact. This time goes for the plunge for 20. As we said before, she does not have prayer beads, so she's gone in this round. Here's Dalbert, plunging for 20 for Rotor, and that does drop McCoss down to 15, so one score potentially, all that Rotor needs, whereas in the case of McCoss, it looks like it'd likely be a 2-score game. Rotor retreats, regroups, gets his sap back, then is once again limited to just Dalbert, who is now banished. That's a big score for McCoss, because with 30 damage, it drops Rotor down to 5. Suddenly, one score for either player, likely all it would take, except that McCoss is at a disadvantage here, having just plunged in the previous round with a non-Prayer Beads character. The numbers advantage, character-wise, goes to Rotor, and perhaps that was just the advantage he needed. GG.
Their pyre nearly was extinguished there, but no.
Well played, you two.
The ceremony is complete.
Alright, well let's head on back.
Until the next rite.
Fun fact, PYRE is playable with basically all the textures gone, apparently. Semi-playable, at least. Oh right, Lilac was suggesting earlier that there may have been a special request that was brewing.
I have no idea how I called her. Like, I chose a different name on every playthrough and don't quite remember.
I mean, you guys know which one I took, because it shows every time we go into versus mode and someone goes with the stowaway. I went with Tay. Lilac says, I request that both teams choose the setup they think will make me, Lids, the most angry / displeased. And Lids is powerless to stop it. I feel like it is best on this occasion for me to say absolutely nothing, so as to not give them any sources of inspiration. Yeah, what's up with all this Lids hate all of a sudden?
The true Nightwings shall now face the withdrawal.
The book.
Welcome.
I don't know to what extent, if any, the players might
Who shall conduct
tailor their teams to the arena, if that affects the request at all. Bold strategy to, in the first spot, take possibly my most commonly chosen character, mastery, and talisman setup. I won't say anything. I shouldn't say anything, positive or negative, about the teams. Now, am I strategically choosing this moment to make that statement? Maybe.
Manly.
Shoot. It's not Star Splinter you hate on Volfred. It's the other one. Is it Sling Bullet? Yeah, that's the one.
Volfred. Volfred. Manly. Exile.
Alright, well, here we go. Both players picking teams based on what they think I would most strongly disapprove of. Now, I know I deliberately withheld commentary during the setup. I'm considering not speaking about anything that happens in this match overall. I feel like anything that I do say will just serve as fuel to future fires. So I think I'm going to plead the fifth on this occasion.
But then I could have picked Aradek for the fitting team.
Shall the true Nightwings press their luck, perhaps?
Once the match is over, maybe I will give you a little bit of a sense as to how much I think you two succeeded at meeting the desired goal. Desired by some, but not by all. And it's just nice to see just to mock me.
The devious maneuver. The withdrawn hunger to prevail. Banished, one and all. Such a display. There. Ooh. Tis taken. I almost pity what transpired there. Now to the flame. One triumvirate stands unopposed. Both banished. Why, that was rather of flame remains. A deadly thwarted drive. Oh. By the scribes. The orb is up. Barely a mark against that flame. Yes, onward thus to greater glory. Ah. Merely a glancing blow. Into the adversary's flame. To each his own. To a death. Badly banished. Now go. No. Not much force of will behind that thrust.
Riveting commentary.
Like I said, I'm pleading the fifth. I refuse to commentate.
Good. The dying flames survive. The orb is taken. That's it. All of the true Night Wings gone. He's out of luck for now. Quite an exchange. An interesting exchange. None left unscathed. What happened there? Who?
And it is done. Finally.
True Night Wings prevail. They brushed aside their
I don't
adversaries
think what the
without too
one
much trouble.
fake, but like the worm comp only applies to Infiniworms, and I cannot ever remember your Infiniworm Exile Talisman combination anyway, so that doesn't count.
I saw you starting to go worm, and I was like, I figured at first that worm is in a vacuum still probably among my favorite classes. So from that standpoint, I thought that was a little strange. Then I realized, oh, you're probably thinking of the quote-unquote wrong Infiniworms setup. So, I mean, you both took the two obvious choices, but then interestingly, Makos, you took probably my third most selected exile, including Masteries and Talisman, with your other option. So that one was, I would say, definitely, it was totally something I would have just taken myself. And then, what was your third exile I wrote her again?
Lady Rogos, I think.
Oh, you did go the worm route. Okay.
Though I think maybe you'd be upset about the flappy harp, but that's like commonplace.
Oh, true. Yeah, I wasn't, honestly, that's become so common now that, yeah, I've kind of become immune to it, but that's good memory in that regard. Yeah, I would have well, no, I'm not going to tell you what I'm not going to tell you what I would have put in the third spot. That was the whole point of not commentating over that. But, I mean, if nothing else, you both got the two obvious ones.
Those are the only two I could remember.
Well, let us know if there is anything that we would like to see for the next match. Otherwise, of course, if not, we can always leave it up to the players to go with whatever they'd like. Yeah, I guess I could say, in the other direction, the things that I take most often are definitely full left side harp with either prayer beads or Titan Tooth, which is why I reacted the way that I did to Makos's selection. Usually flanked on either side by a quick throwing Savage and a Web Lanthorn Imp. And then also just generally a big fan of using worms, so I would say any of those things I would have said is a very bad fit for that reason, because those are ones that I very regularly take, and I won't tell you what I would have put on the opposite end of the spectrum, so I will not give you any more fuel.
I mean, you just restart the RITE anyway if we got it.
Okay, start the RITE before Lilac can come up with another request.
Lilac is trying to invoke.
Yeah, exactly. What?
It's not gonna work.
What's going on? Go.
It's not gonna work. Falcon Ron requires that you pay up. He don't work for free, okay?
The true Nightwings versus
Treat an entrepreneur with respect.
Welcome. Who shall conduct the rites?
Those fireworks? I can't even tell what those are.
Again.
That's supposed to be
Okay,
fire.
I know I shouldn't, but I really like this comp.
Oh, I did not see the all harp request. My apologies. We're a little late on that one because it flew under my radar or flew above my radar. I don't know. I guess the harps could fly low.
But let's do it on another stage where we can fly around a bit.
Messenger Imp.
Okay, let me adapt a little bit to the situation.
Tizo. Manly.
here we go. Back to a normal match now, thankfully, and it is iRotor getting us started with a 20 damage harp throw. iRotor trying to follow up with another one of those, but Macaws able to get the stop. And to get Manly into throwing range, but couldn't do so on that occasion. Huge implosion for iRotor, though fortunately for Macaws, did get a character back just after that. Oh, the throw just a little bit off the mark from Manly. Tizo. Back to Zoxiana. She goes down, though, and here's Gilman. For Macaws, he's banished, though. Back to iRotor's Zoxiana. Flapping and bouncing off the walls, but Macaws was unfazed. Zoxiana again, blocked and banished, though. A bit of room here, as everyone was down on iRotor's side, so time for an uncontested 25 damage sap throw for Macaws' Manly. Oh, I think that was a throw, but my goodness, did that worm take flight, making it a little hard to tell. Obviously, Gilman is back in this round, so yes, that did appear to be a throw. 20 damage throw here for iRotor. That does tie us up at 60 Pyre life apiece. Zoxiana's throw intercepted, and Macaws through the portal, but out of stamina. Well-placed sapling from Manly, although that implosion rather difficult for Macaws to avoid. Macaws gets the block. Moving in with Manly. Gilman along the other side, but he's downed. Manly, the quick throw. Good for the full 25. Oh, Zoxiana does get the throw off there. It did seem as though Macaws was in position to get the stop, although it made it through nonetheless. Here is Macaws, once again blurring the line a bit between throwing and plunging. Oh. Need a second? Everything all right?
I think it's iRotor's end. I don't know if he's pausing for lag.
He's still in Discord.
Yeah, I was pausing for lag. It's hard to tell from the menu screen. Let's just continue.
Okay. Want me to give you guys a countdown? I'll go.
I think I just scored. You can just
Oh,
go.
okay. It doesn't matter. Now with Zoxiana. Throws, good for 20. Does drop iRotor, or rather does drop Macaws down to 20, although may mean that we could see some rekindling here. If there is a second life bar, then of course Macaws would have enough to withstand it. Same cannot be said for iRotor though, as with that sap throw, Macaws is the winner.
Although their adversaries put up quite an effort, the RITE is done.
All right.
That
That is a fantastic line, isn't it?
Stars align.
All right, well, I think we technically had an all harps request in the queue. One that...
Okay, then I request spring. Let's not have
Spring?
boat or pit or like something silly.
Okay. That was a good Manly impression as well. Macaws has it on point.
Thanks, I practiced in the mirror.
Manly definitely practices his voice in the mirror, I must say. And Lilac can swap in after this one, if anyone is up for it.
That's good, because I have to peace out after this one.
Perfect. Alright. Good timing. Well, if there is anyone else who's interested in getting in, we could potentially do a double swap. Let us know if that is the case. Otherwise, it sounds like at the very least, we will have Lilac taking Makos's spot after this match is done. Lilac wanted to face off against the McNachos. Not on this occasion, I'm afraid. Sobbing and crying in anguish. It's alright. Have some Cool Ranch Doritos.
The true Nightwings shall take on the withdrawn. Welcome.
Alright, so all harps
Who shall conduct the
at the
rites?
Spring of Jomir. That is the setting. It's Luminous Idol Hamatha in the first spot for Makos. Oh. Titan Tooth Zoxiana will be Iroder's lead.
Wants to play that way, huh?
So this is war.
Man.
I mean, you cannot salute out of it if you all halves, right?
No, so I was hoping we were just gonna not
I think
take
really
it.
one-dimensional because the whole right side of the half tree is even worse than normally because everyone's in the air all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you're not wrong. Right, I'll play Titan Tooth Bird.
Speedy Tamatha here in the second spot for Iroder. Banishing throws on Zoxiana, Makos's final harp. I was gonna say, did the stowaway suddenly sprout wings? One day she's gonna grow wings. Chemical reaction. And then Ash and Cole on an actual harp in the last spot for Iroder. And here we go with our last matchup between these two today. As Iroder gets us started with a 20 damage plunge. It was not a Prayer Beads harp though. So he was down one harp, although still able to get in for another 20 damage plunge this time. Though once again, no Prayer Beads. That means more room for Makos to be the one doing a 20 damage harp plunge. He didn't have Prayer Beads. There's the double Titan Tooth stun. And Makos follows up with another 20 damage plunge. Really, Lilac? I'm surprised. That was not the most obvious of references. I didn't really expect anyone... If anything, I expected Makos to get that, but 20 damage throw there. Orb inadvertently hits Makos's pyre, bounces back out. And Makos follows it in for another 20 damage plunge. These harps are flying all over the place. And getting pushed all over the place. Well, one more score is potentially all that Iroder needs here. I don't believe Makos has any rekindling, and so with that score, Iroder is the winner.
That's what the harp looks like.
The
Chi-Chi.
rite is complete.
Well played,
This is
you
what
two.
you brought onto the world, Lilac.
This is on you.
And at least over quickly.
Until the next
Even if it's a bit one-dimensional.
All right. Well, Makos, it's been swell.
Sir.
It's been a pleasure. Great to have you.
thanks
Let
for
me
the
just
games.
double check. Lilac, are you good to get in now and take Makos's place? Yes, indeed. All right. In that case, we shall make the swap. GG's, Makos. Thanks for stopping by.
GG's, thanks for hosting. I wrote her, thanks for the rights.
Catch you
Yeah.
later. One question though, is anyone else interested? Because I'm only thinking of doing a couple matches. I know Spheris was saying a few minutes ago that he really only has half an hour, so realistically, he's probably on a similar timetable. I'm not sure it would work on his end. I don't know if there's anyone else. Zombie unfortunately can't get the remote play stuffs to work. Hello, Lilac. How's it going?
It is going. Let's hope that my computer wants to work.
Oh, lovely.
I think the Fate theme for Never to Return is different because they had to walk the Wheels of Fate in there, alright? This-
Seems to be working so far.
Okay, that's a promising sign.
Nothing like disastrous happened recently. I just happened to be running another program in the background. for
You
a
know, you have to
project I
mine
was
that Bitcoin, right?
Precisely. And so, like, I was worried that it might cause lag, but so far it seems to be doing okay.
Okay, okay. Which driver would you like to be today, Lilac?
I will be the Chastity.
Okay. Curcoin? Maybe.
What about Imp Coin? Or what about Manly Coin?
No, no one would use Manly Coin. Manly would try to make Manly Coin, and then no one would use it, and it would just fall completely flat. And then people would bring it up to him, and he would come up with lame excuses as to why it was perfectly why it is actually very successful, despite the clear and obvious evidence suggesting just the opposite.
Exactly.
What do you mean, Manly Coin isn't successful? Of course it is.
And the cost was here.
Yeah, we have to break out the Macaws manly voice. Alright, well, let us know if there is anything we'd like to see for this one between Lilac and Iroder. It sounded like we may not have much time for Lilac here. In which case, maybe we just hop straight in.
The Chastity.
And it's the Isle of
shall
Kalamer.
now face the withdrawn. Welcome. Who shall conduct the rites?
No requests from chat, so you are welcome to take whatever you'd like. You have controls, Lilac? Let me double check. Yeah, you should. know if that's the spelling for it, but it's reader. Gertrude in the first spot for Lilac.
My controller doesn't work.
Oh,
Let me reply.
Choose someone.
there we go. I mean, they made it. But weren't we talking about this a week or two ago? They made a full-blown language for it. And it used to be that the full voice lines, or the full written lines of the playthrough, all of them were voiced in full. But then, for whatever reason, they found that as they were going through the development process, that seemed excessive, for lack of a better word. And so instead of having the full lines be voiced, they instead limited it to just a few, either, I can't remember if it's necessarily the first couple words or just keywords. But that's the one that probably tends to get the most attention. So obviously it has a lot of significance in the campaign. And if people are addressing the main character, then more often than not, that's the way that they're referring to you.
We should have gone for it. I would find it interesting to see how the portrayal of emotion still works, or how it doesn't work in the different language.
Why is it called Saurian? Because it's the Saurian Union is the name of the sort of primary civilization on the surface.
No, that's only at the end of the game. It's actually just called SAR at the.
It's just
throughout
SAR.
most of the game.
And then you have the High Wing Remnants, Harps, who are also on the surface.
And then, well, SAR is, I think, like the name of the entire universe.
Okay.
Whereas the Commonwealth is the surface place, and then it's renamed to the Saurian Union after the Revolution.
Okay. That makes sense.
But pushes up my nerd glasses.
Yeah, no, it's been a little while since I've done the campaign. Thank you for the reminder.
Messenger
Well, look at this. No requests from chat, and yet we find ourselves with triple Crone against triple Imp. Entirely of the player's choosing, although I don't think that Lilac would have chosen to be completely defenseless here, as that's an opportunity for our rotor to plunge in for 25. Lilac does have the Crone Salute, transforming all of Irotor's characters into defenseless howlers. Irotor does have at least one Salute, though, to switch back into Imp form. She did on a few occasions there, but wasn't enough to get the orb back. Of course, those are one-time use skills, those Crone Salutes. Lilac has used 2 of them. I admittedly did not catch as to whether Lilac took that ability on all 3. Well, that was not maximum damage, just 23 on that occasion. We'll have to see if that becomes significant later on for Irotor. There's a world in which Lilac may be finishing this match with 2 Pyre life. Lilac back at full strength, leaps in. That's 30 damage.
How very fortunate for the
Irotor, first to the orb this time. Lilac breaks out the salute, but look at this. This is what iRotor was looking for. The opportunity to switch back into imp form, get a banishment or two, and suddenly it is now iRotor scoring despite Lilac having used one of those limited time prone salutes. Of course, Lilac does have to pay big time to set those up. That's all the way down on the right side of the crone tree. If you're investing that many mastery points, you definitely want to get more out of it, and so iRotor has weathered the storm. We've seen all three of those crone salutes. No more aces up Lilac's metaphorical sleeves. Lilac is defenseless now, so opportunity for iRotor to throw that one in for 25, and now Lilac sitting on a 7 higher life, so 1 score theoretically. All iRotor needs. Couldn't quite make it happen on that occasion. And Lilac is not done. Plunges for 30, and suddenly we have ourselves a sudden death match here. Any character with just about any score would likely do the trick. And there it is.
GG.
The withdrawn prevail.
GG.
A victory so narrowly achieved, and thus more glorious.
Well played, you two.
Thus end this night's proceedings.
Alright, well, let's head on back. Yeah, Manly at least likes to present himself as if he is a wealthy member of the aristocracy. As for whether, how truthful that really is not super clear, although Wolfred seems to kind of confirm that that's the case.
Also, I meant it last time, I repeat it this time. We have more than 2 people in chat, yet there are only 2 likes on the live stream. What are you doing?
Thank you, iRotor. Well, just a quick time check, because I know, Lilac, you were saying you might not be able to stick around for too many matches. Do we have to go Liberation right here, or can you stick around for a little while longer?
Yeah, I can stick around for a little while.
Okay, nice. Let us know if there is anyone else who's interested in getting in, because Lilac was saying they'd have to leave fairly soon. Did the number just go? It worked! iRotor is my new official hype man, apparently. Alright, well, let us know if there is anything we're looking for here. Otherwise, of course, we can leave it up to the players, and that previous match was all up to the players. We saw a very interesting matchup. Looked as though it would have been coming from a request, and yet it was not. Alright, but I'm not seeing anything, so I think in that case, we'll jump straight back in.
The chastity shall confront the withdrawn.
Ridge of Gold.
Welcome. Who shall conduct the rites?
And with no requests, this is all up to the players to take whatever they'd like here. Trestus Plume Pamitha in the lead spot for Lilac. What do you mean, what's the point of Isle of Kalimur? It's a fun, chaotic arena.
Do not disrespect the Isle of Kalimur.
Right, the imps would not take kindly to that.
They'll steal all your money.
Okay, I mean, I wasn't gonna go that far. I don't know about that.
Isn't the Isle of Kalimur where all the betting and stuff happens?
Is
The
it?
pizza
That might be where it's
board.
introduced initially, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
took 1 harp in the first spot with Zoxiana. Now it's a speedy harp with Pamitha. Curfang Tamitha in the last spot for Lilac. Thorned not Tamitha in the last spot for Irodor. So here we go. Once again, it's 3 of a kind for both players. In fact, it is the same 3 of a kind for both players. It's all harps. And we saw this earlier, actually, on the Spring of Jomir. Now it's at the Ridge of Gold. Lilac plunging in for 20. But no prayer beads on Zoxiana, so Lilac down 1 harp. And, you know, Irodor was a little off the mark, but we'll give it to him on that plunge. We'll still give him the 20 damage.
No more brightly than the other.
Rotor sending himself flying with that cast. And plunging here for 20. Still no prayer beads proc. Down 1 harp and instead opts to throw this time, which lands for 16 for my Rotor's harp. Lilac blocked and vanished. Rotor with Tamitha, now over to Pamitha. Sister Squad. Series of fell swoops. Lilac emerges, albeit only temporarily. Pamitha for Rotor. Oh, just enough to sidestep that cast and manages to plunge for 20, followed by a quick 19 here. Now that means 1 score of just about any variety should be enough for Irodor. That won't happen there though. But with no one back defensively to stop this throw, Irodor is the winner.
The withdrawn prevail.
GG.
They vastly outperformed their adversaries.
Well played, you two.
The rite is done.
Alright, well let's head on back.
Until the next rite.
What was that first message?
My phone keyboard.
Alright, well, I take this to mean that Lilac, you still have time for maybe a couple more at the very... I mean, I don't want to speak for you here, but just based on what you were saying earlier.
A couple more.
Okay, so in that case, does it make sense to call this our penultimate rite? And then we'll do a liberation rite after this? How does that sound? I mean, if you have more time, great.
Well, it was more like how many rites I was in the mood for, and then there was like a thing I might have to leave later, but for now, I'm happy to do a few more.
Okay, so what you're saying is we have persuaded you to play more.
No.
You weren't sure if you liked us enough to spend time with us, but now maybe we're slowly but surely winning you over. That's what I'm hearing, at least. Alright, well Lilac said no masteries or talismans, which is of course always quite tricky. I feel like at times, obviously this slows down the pace of the matches every time, but that means some arenas can be much more challenging than others for this combination, so I know no one has requested an arena yet, but I'm just gonna, throw that out there, that we may want to think about if we want to lock in a particular arena that would make sense with this significantly weakened setup. If not, of course, we can leave it to the whims of the scribes.
I will leave it to the whims of the scribes, personally.
I request though, never to return fate.
Okay.
If we were talking about it.
Alright.
That can be arranged. Book of Rites. Thematically, makes a lot of sense. That is probably the place where you would not have any talismans. or
Okay,
mastery.
but let's do no customize, otherwise I like clear good and bad options.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
We're really adding to the chaos here.
The chastity shall confront the withdrawn.
Alright, so it turns into an imp, a harp, and a savage for Lilac. It's Oralek,
Oh,
and then
no.
2 harps for Iroder. Remember, no
Well-
masteries and no talismans.
It was nice knowing you. It was
I mean,
nice-
Oralek
it
with no
was
masteries or talismans is tricky. Not many ways to cover for his glaring one hope.
Glory first to
But he is the one getting us started here with a 15 damage throw.
banished.
But Iroder banishes everyone with Oralek. He's a one-man army. Confirmed.
The flame. The orb is up.
We're stopped there. There's Lilac with Ulmer. And Tamitha. Back to Ulmer.
Simply monstrous.
Some stamina back, but he gets cornered. No one back defensively now. Everyone banished for Lilac, at least momentarily, but that does give Iroder enough time to throw this one in for 20 damage. More or less uncontested. Tamitha. Down she goes. Oralek back at work here, although this time he's the setup man. Passing over to one of Iroder's harps, Soxiana, who scored there, and then the other harp plunges in here for what is the deciding 20 damage.
Their adversaries must be crying tears of shame.
GG. Well played, you
The
two.
night is complete.
That was, of course, a match in which we had no talismans, no masteries, customize off on the book, and also Never to Return Fate Edition as our song. And I was looking at first at Lilac's randomized team thinking, oh, this is a pretty good team for the circumstances. Then I saw Iroder's team and realized, no, this is quite possibly the single most powerful setup you could theoretically have. And he just randomized his way into it. But hey, such is the will of the scribes.
Such is the will of Iroder.
well, I don't think Iroder was the one pulling the strings on that occasion, unless...
Isn't it true you're in contact with Eslac?
No, don't bring that up.
I won't confirm or deny that.
Alright, so Lilac, how are we doing? Do we have time for another one, or should we go into the Liberation Rite at this stage?
I can do 1 or 2 more.
Alright, so maybe in that case, if we do have any more requests, we could do one more before our Liberation Rite. Let us know if we have anything in mind. Then, of course, for the Liberation Rite, we'll have the players take their preferred teams. Won't do any requests for that one.
I got one.
Oh?
Wait, no. I was going to request all curs, but then I remembered archetypes, and that's way more interesting, so I'm going to request archetypes.
Okay. We can do some archetypes. It's been a little while. I think it's been a few weeks since we last did it. Let's see. I think I have it up here. Somewhere. There we go. Let me get a random number generator while I'm at it. Random. Come on. Number generator. Thank you. Okay. Alright, so what? We've Lilac as player 1, so I'll roll for you first. Lilac, your archetype is as follows. Now for Iroder, your archetype is going to be... Are you swimming in a pool?
It took you that long to notice?
It certainly sounded like it. Yeah. Alright, Iroder, I sent you your archetype as well. Let me know if either of you have any questions. Of course, archetypes, it's been a little while, so as a reminder, they are a randomized guideline. Well, we have a set of several different team guidelines, some of which are based on the way that the team is set up. Others are based more so on how the team executes once the match actually begins. So it gives the players some direction for how to set things up or how to play in the next match, while at the same time still giving them some flexibility to express that in the way that they see fit. And only the player knows what they have received. Their opponent does not know which archetype they have, so they can't counterpick each other. If you have any questions, let me know. Lilac. What? Just like you to know that Lilac did DM me in response to the archetype, and it was not a question. It was a random. I don't even know what to call this.
It's a gift.
Of someone breakdancing, like an animated person breakdancing. Like,
Wait,
what does that
you
have to
don't
do with
know?
anything? I don't know.
Wait, do you not know who that is?
I'm not sure if I do.
They are the main characters of Disco Elysium, which is a very popular game.
Oh, okay. There are two people in it. One of whom looks like the main character from Half-Life. The person whose back is to the... I don't know. Anyways. Anyways, that's an aside.
Let's
That's
get
not
on with the
important.
RITE.
Let's get back into the action, shall we?
From my swimming pool.
Yup.
Shall now face the
In case you are wondering, it's the sound of me drinking a soda.
I was gonna say, it must have been some kind of iced beverage, but just the way you were sort of sloshing it around made it sound like you were lounging on a floaty in a swim pool or something like that. So, of course, the players have both received their archetypes, as I was saying before. Only the player who has received that archetype knows what they have. They don't know what their opponent has. That's what I'm trying to say.
Is there a talisman that makes the opponent get exiled, get banished if they run into your aura?
Sort of. The curse talisman that has you keep the aura even when you have the orb, if that's what you mean.
Uh-huh.
That's what Lilac starts off with, on Orlek. It's a quick throwing Palmus in the lead spot for Iroder. We're gonna get more metal songs from Supergiant. I don't know. I mean, when have they...
I am curious what they're working on next.
Yeah. Because, I mean, we hadn't seen any sequels from Supergiant until they did Hades 2. So that, I think, wasn't really on anyone's radar that that was even a possibility. They
And
just
now
didn't have
all
that
they
precedent.
do is Hades too.
Tizo. Bertrude.
Double Demon and a Speedy Bertrude from Lilac. But it seems like the metal songs have generally been for boss fights more often than not, so I don't know. Depends what kind of boss fights, if any, we might see in the next Supergiant game. It's at least best guess I would have. Obviously, there are circumstances outside of boss fights that could make metal songs fitting, but who knows? Scribe-Rock on Jodariel, that's the final choice for Iroder, and here we go. As I said, both players have received randomized archetypes. Their opponents do not know what archetypes they have gotten. Some of those archetypes are based on the way the teams are set up, others based on how the players execute now that the match has started, and one very notable thing, of course, is that Iroder has banished the entirety of Lilac's team, so uncontested 25 damage throw opportunity for Iroder there from Tizo. Lilac breaks out the Crone Salute. However, Iroder has the orb and is able to stall a little bit there, almost enough so to get a banishment with Jody, but Lilac was ultimately able to capitalize on that Crone Salute. Did cut that awfully close though. Lilac running away, it would seem. Look, Bertrude's just a little shy, okay? Iroder throws this one in for 25.
Shall the withdrawn further press their luck?
Big leap from Jody. Oh, but she does go down. Lilac now. Bertrude. And Vizpaleth. That is a large implosion. Demons leaping at each other. It was Iroder who won that duel. In fact, Iroder who has now banished the entirety of Lilac's team.
Well, I dare say.
Lunging in here for 30 with his demon. No prayer beads on Jody, so she's now gone in this round, but one score is potentially all that Iroder needs. I think he has enough damage even from Tizo, if I remember correctly. I think he took the extra damage. And obviously, the Saps by default have 25. Huge implosion. Lilac still got the cast off, which looked kind of silly. But with no one to stop this Sap throw, Iroder is the winner.
The withdrawn prevail.
GG.
Most excellently done this time, I must admit.
Well played, you two.
The rite is ended.
Alright, and of course that was an Archetypes match, so if you two would like to share your archetypes, you are welcome to do so.
Until the next rite.
Mine was possession. I attempted to control the flow of the game by maximizing possession of the orb.
And on Iroder's side, we saw positional / area control / denial. Control where your opponents can and cannot go by strategically positioning large auras. Which, on the Glade of Lu, one of the smallest arenas, that is a good roll for Iroder. Alright, but as I was saying before, I think it is probably time now for our final rite of the night, our liberation rite. So that would take us to the Fall of Solium. We'll turn the sermon intro on and we'll do the Never to Return. I know Zombie was saying Dissidents. Typically what we'll do is we'll go for the version of whoever is, whatever the triumvirate of player 2 is. That is both for thematic reasons, but also because technically there are some quirks, some extra features you get if you do that don't happen if you do a different one, if I remember correctly, although maybe I'm mischaracterizing that. But anyways, not going to take any requests for this one because this is, of course, our final rite of the night. So we're just going to have both players finish things off in style with their preferred teams. So, without further ado, let's hop in.
Exiles, you stand upon the fall of Solium. At stake here in this rite is your salvation. Prevail and step closer to freedom. The chastity stand ready. The withdrawn stand prepared. Now let us begin.
Alright, so as I was saying, this will be our final rite of the night, our liberation rite, so no requests from chat for this one. Players just taking their preferred teams to finish things off in style, which for Lilac means a speedy stowaway in the lead spot. Iroder will also go the speedy route, though in his case it's with Udmilda instead. Kerfang Ulmer, that's Lilac's second choice. Prayer Beads Gareth is Iroder's second selection. Lilac will finish with Astral Eye on Pamitha. And Iroder will take Web Lanthorn on Raji. So here we go, our final rite of the night. Lilac on the left representing the Chastity, Iroder on the right representing the Withdrawn. Best of luck to you both. And there it is.
GG. Have proved their worth.
GG.
Their adversaries they defeated utterly.
Well played, you two.
Thus ends the liberation rite.
And as we were saying, that was our final rite of the night, our liberation rite. Thank you to everyone who participated in the rite today and everyone who gave us the requests in chat as well. What's everyone's favorite version of Never to Return? That is a hard question to answer. They're all so good. Alright, but with that being said, I am going to hop out of Discord. Catch you guys
Thanks for
next time.
hosting.
GG's. Good to have you, Iroder. Likewise, Lilac, I know you said that Discord was bugging out on you, but good to have you as well. Let me make sure they're both free from remote play. I think Lilac already fled. Yes. Okay. as I was saying, that was our final rite of the night, our liberation rite. So thank you everybody who participated in the rites today, and thank you everybody who gave us the requests in chat as well. Of course, this was PYRE Community Rite Night, and if you are interested in getting more involved in multiplayer PYRE, then the best way to do so is by joining the RITE Club Discord server, which you can do by clicking on, one second, that link right there. My name is Lids. I'm hosting these Rite Nights, and my streaming schedule, we're adjusting it a little bit because we actually just, this Friday, we finally unlocked everything in Mass Effect Andromeda multiplayer after 3 years. So we're going to take a little bit of a break from Mass Effect Andromeda multiplayer, and that means Fridays we'll do Path of Exile 2, Saturdays we'll continue doing Mass Effect 3 multiplayer, and then obviously Sundays we're doing PYRE multiplayer. Then, if you haven't done so yet already, then of course you can like the stream, as Iroder was saying before, but you can also hit the subscribe button to stay up to date on things that I am doing. But actually the best way to stay up to date on all things Lids is by joining my Discord server, which, if you give me just a second, get you a link for that one as well. Oops. There we are. That's the link for my Discord. But that's going to be it for me for tonight, so thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed the stream, and I'll catch you next time.